A quiet truth changes lives more than loud advice ever will. The people you admire today were not surrounded by applause when they started. They were surrounded by doubt. They were surrounded by silence. They were surrounded by days when nobody believed in them, nobody noticed their effort, and nobody cared how hard they were trying. Everyone loves to stand beside a winner after the victory is complete. Everyone enjoys celebrating success when the trophies are visible and the results speak for themselves. But almost nobody wants to experience the lonely road that comes before success arrives. That road has no audience. It has no rewards in the beginning. It has no guarantee that your hard work will pay off tomorrow. Yet this is the exact place where ordinary people slowly become extraordinary. The greatest transformation does not happen in front of a crowd. It happens when you choose to keep moving forward, even though nobody is watching. It happens when you wake up before everyone else, because your dreams matter more than your comfort. It happens when you refuse to quit after another failure, because your future is more important than your temporary pain. Many people believe success begins with confidence, but confidence is usually the result of disciplined action repeated over and over again. Before confidence appears, there are hundreds of moments filled with uncertainty. Before success becomes visible, there are countless invisible decisions that nobody will ever see. Every successful person has lived through a season where they questioned themselves, fought against excuses, and continued walking despite feeling alone. That lonely season is often misunderstood. People think being alone means falling behind, but history tells a very different story. Many of the world's greatest thinkers, athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders spent long periods working in silence, learning in private, and improving themselves without seeking attention. They understood a lesson that most people never discover. Solitude is not punishment. Solitude is preparation. When distractions become smaller, your focus becomes stronger. When outside noise becomes quieter, your inner voice becomes clearer. While the world is busy chasing approval, disciplined people are busy building themselves. They understand that real growth cannot be borrowed from another person. It must be earned through daily effort. Modern life makes this lesson even harder to accept. Social media constantly shows finished success while hiding the years of struggle behind it. You see the victory, but not the sacrifice. You see the smile, but not the sleepless nights. You see the success story, but not the lonely mornings when quitting seemed easier than continuing. This creates one of the biggest illusions of our time. It makes people believe they are falling behind simply because they cannot see the hidden work happening in other people's lives. The truth is that every meaningful achievement has a chapter that nobody celebrates. Every great life has pages filled with rejection, discipline, failure, patience, and quiet persistence. Those pages rarely become headlines, yet they are the reason the final chapter becomes inspiring. In this video, you will discover why walking alone is often the first sign that you are moving in the right direction instead of the wrong one. You will learn why discipline always defeats motivation in the long run. Why self-growth begins the moment you stop waiting for perfect conditions, and why the strongest version of yourself is built during moments when nobody is cheering for you. You will also discover simple but powerful habits that successful people practice every day to strengthen their minds, build unshakable discipline, and create a life that stands on purpose instead of temporary emotions. Most importantly, you will understand why loneliness and solitude are not the same, and why learning the difference can completely change your future. There are lessons in this video that many people spend years trying to understand through painful experience. One small shift in the way you think could change the way you approach every challenge from this day forward. Stay with me until the very end, because the final lesson brings everything together in a way that could completely change how you view success, discipline, and your own potential. The last message is often the one people remember long after the video ends, because it explains why the hardest part of the journey is also the most valuable part. If you are willing to embrace that lesson, you may never look at your struggles the same way again. This is not about becoming better than everyone else. This is about becoming better than the person you were yesterday. It is about building a mindset that keeps moving forward even when progress feels slow. It is about creating a life based on discipline instead of excuses, purpose instead of comfort, and action instead of waiting. If that is the future you want, then you are in the right place. Welcome to the channel, where we explore the mindset, discipline, and daily habits that help ordinary people build extraordinary lives. If you believe in becoming stronger one day at a time, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss a new video, and join a community that is committed to growth, resilience, and lasting success. Now, let's begin the journey of discovering why sometimes the most powerful step towards success is the one you take completely alone. Walking alone is often misunderstood because people confuse loneliness with solitude, but they are completely different experiences. Loneliness is the feeling that you are missing meaningful connection. Solitude is the choice to spend time with yourself so you can grow into a better person. One drains your energy while the other builds it. The problem is that many people become uncomfortable the moment they are by themselves. They reach for their phones, they look for approval, they wait for someone to encourage them before taking the next step. Their confidence depends on compliments, likes, praise, or acceptance from other people. When those things disappear, their motivation disappears too. But the people who achieve extraordinary things discover a different way of living. They learn to become their own source of encouragement. They understand that not every season of life is meant to be crowded. Some seasons are designed to teach you lessons that can only be learned in silence. When distractions become fewer, your thoughts become clearer. When the noise around you becomes quieter, you finally begin hearing the voice inside that has been ignored for years. That is where real growth starts. It does not happen while trying to impress everyone. It happens while improving yourself when nobody is paying attention. Every successful athlete has trained when the stadium was empty. Every successful entrepreneur has worked through nights when nobody believed in the dream. Every successful writer has stared at blank pages before anyone read a single word. Every successful musician has practiced the same notes hundreds of times before standing on a stage. Their greatest work was not created under bright lights. It was created in quiet rooms where discipline mattered more than applause. Those private hours became public success later. The world celebrates the result, but it rarely sees the preparation. This is why walking alone should never be mistaken for falling behind. Sometimes it is proof that you are finally walking toward the life you truly want, instead of following the crowd. The crowd often moves toward comfort. Growth usually moves in the opposite direction. Following everyone else feels safe because it protects you from criticism, but it also protects you from becoming exceptional. Every meaningful transformation begins when you become willing to spend time alone with your thoughts, your weaknesses, your goals, and your future. Instead of fearing silence, learn to use it. Instead of chasing constant approval, chase constant improvement. One gives temporary satisfaction. The other builds a permanent foundation. This leads to one of the biggest lies people believe about success. Many people think successful people simply had more motivation than everyone else. Others believe they were lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time. Some keep telling themselves that one day the perfect opportunity will arrive and everything will suddenly become easy. These ideas sound comforting because they remove responsibility. If success depends on luck, then failure is not your fault. If success depends on motivation, then you can blame your emotions whenever you stop working. If success depends on perfect timing, then you can keep waiting without feeling guilty. But life rarely works that way. Motivation is exciting, but it is temporary. It rises and falls like the weather. Some mornings you feel unstoppable. Other mornings you feel tired, distracted, and uncertain. If your actions depend only on motivation, your progress will always be unpredictable. Discipline works differently. Discipline tells you to continue even when excitement disappears. Motivation helps you begin, but discipline makes sure you continue after the excitement fades away. Think about brushing your teeth. Most people do not wake up feeling motivated to do it every day. They simply do it because it has become part of who they are. Discipline creates that same automatic behavior in every important area of life. The people who achieve great things are not always inspired. They are simply committed. They continue working when they feel energetic, and they continue working when they feel exhausted. They understand that waiting until they feel ready often means waiting forever. There will always be another excuse. There will always be another reason to delay. There will always be another fear telling you that tomorrow is a better day to begin. But tomorrow has a habit of becoming next week, next month, and eventually next year. While you are waiting for confidence, someone else is building it through action. While you are waiting for perfect conditions, someone else is learning from imperfect ones. Readiness does not appear before action. It appears because of action. Every step forward teaches you what you could never learn by standing still. Yet most people never experience this because they stay trapped in patterns that quietly control their lives. Fear of being judged stops them before they even begin. They worry about what family, friends, co-workers, or strangers might think. They allow opinions from people who are not living their dreams to control their own future. Fear of failure becomes another invisible prison. Instead of seeing failure as feedback, they see it as proof that they should quit. Every mistake feels personal instead of educational. Then there is the comfort zone, a place that feels safe but slowly steals potential. Comfort asks for very little effort, but it also offers very little growth. Day after day, people repeat the same routine because it feels familiar, even though they secretly wish their lives were different. Constant comparison creates another trap. Looking at other people's success without seeing their struggles creates frustration instead of inspiration. You compare your beginning to someone else's middle. You compare your private life to another person's public image. This destroys confidence and creates unnecessary pressure. Modern life also encourages quick rewards. Endless entertainment, endless scrolling, and endless distractions train the brain to expect instant satisfaction. But meaningful success grows slowly. It rewards patience instead of urgency. It asks for months or years of consistent effort before the biggest results appear. Many people give up because they expect immediate progress from long-term goals. They plant a seed and become disappointed because it is not a tree the next morning. Others spend their lives searching for shortcuts. They want faster results, easier methods, and secret formulas. They forget that systems beat shortcuts every single time. A simple routine repeated every day will always outperform an exciting plan that is never followed. The biggest competition has never been the person standing beside you. It has always been the person you were yesterday. Winning that competition every day changes everything. You do not need giant improvements overnight. You need small improvements repeated consistently. That is where discipline becomes your greatest advantage. Many people think discipline takes away freedom because it requires rules and structure. But the opposite is true. Discipline creates freedom. It gives you the freedom to control your emotions instead of being controlled by them. It gives you the freedom to choose your future instead of accepting whatever happens. Every small action repeated long enough becomes a habit. Every habit repeated long enough becomes part of your identity. Eventually, you stop saying, "I am trying to be disciplined," and you begin saying, "I am a disciplined person." Identity is powerful because people naturally act in ways that match how they see themselves. Once discipline becomes part of your identity, making good decisions becomes easier. Self-control works like a muscle. The first few repetitions feel difficult, but every time you resist an excuse, every time you keep a promise to yourself, and every time you choose progress over comfort, that muscle grows stronger. The next challenge becomes easier to handle because you have already proven to yourself that you can overcome the last one. Before chasing your biggest dreams, build the person who is capable of achieving them. Build your body because physical energy affects mental performance. Build your mindset because your thoughts shape your decisions every single day. Build valuable skills because opportunities often come to people who are prepared for them. Build emotional control because life will never remove every obstacle from your path. Build confidence by taking action instead of waiting for confidence to appear first. Build consistency because repeated effort always defeats occasional brilliance. People do not become successful first and disciplined later. They become disciplined first and success quietly follows. The journey is rarely exciting in the beginning. Growth is often invisible. You may work for weeks without seeing noticeable results. You may study every day without feeling smarter. You may exercise for months before seeing major physical changes. You may improve your habits while nobody around you notices the difference. That does not mean progress has stopped. It means progress is happening beneath the surface. Friends may not understand why you suddenly protect your time, say no to distractions, or spend more evenings learning instead of relaxing. That is perfectly normal. Not everyone will understand a journey they never chose to take. Silence is where confidence grows, because confidence is built by keeping promises to yourself, not by receiving praise from others. Every hour you invest in learning, practicing, reading, training, or improving becomes an advantage that compounds over time. Small daily habits shape remarkable futures. Wake up with purpose instead of reaching immediately for distractions. Begin the day by remembering why your goals matter. Move your body every day, because a stronger body supports a stronger mind. Read books or learn a new skill, because every piece of knowledge expands your ability to solve problems. Keep promises to yourself, even the small ones, because every promise you keep strengthens trust in your own character. The more evidence you give yourself that you can be relied upon, the stronger your self-belief becomes. Before ending each day, ask yourself one simple question: did I become better than yesterday? That question keeps your attention where it belongs, on progress instead of perfection. It reminds you that improvement is measured one day at a time. And while the world continues noticing only the finished result, remember that success is almost always built where nobody is looking. Nobody sees the early mornings when you choose discipline over sleep. Nobody sees the evenings when you continue learning after everyone else has stopped. Nobody sees the failures that quietly teach the lessons success never could. Nobody sees the sacrifices, the doubts, the repeated practice, or the moments when giving up feels easier than continuing. The world notices the achievement, but the achievement is only the final chapter of a story written through thousands of quiet decisions. The life that people admire is almost always built during the moments when nobody is there to applaud. As this journey comes to an end, remember one powerful truth that can change the direction of your life forever. Walking alone does not mean you are failing. It does not mean you are forgotten. It does not mean your efforts are wasted. More often than not, it means you are growing into someone stronger than you were yesterday. The road to success has never been crowded. It is built one disciplined decision at a time, every early morning when you choose purpose over comfort. Every workout when your body tells you to quit. Every page you read instead of scrolling. Every skill you practice instead of making excuses. Every promise you keep to yourself. Every sacrifice that nobody notices. Every failure that teaches you a lesson. Every lonely day when you continue moving forward without applause. None of it is meaningless. Every single moment is shaping your character, strengthening your mind, and preparing you for opportunities that only disciplined people are ready to receive. The victories that everyone celebrates are created by thousands of invisible choices that nobody ever sees. That is why real success is never built overnight. It is built quietly, patiently, and consistently, one day at a time. Never let temporary loneliness convince you to abandon a permanent dream. Never let fear decide the future that belongs to your courage. Keep learning, keep improving, keep showing up even on the days when motivation disappears. One day, the same people who never noticed your effort will notice your results. They will admire your confidence, your discipline, and your success, but they will never fully understand the silent battles, the difficult mornings, the setbacks, and the countless hours of hard work that made it all possible. That is your story to be proud of. Your future is not written by luck, it is written by the choices you make every single day. So don't wait for Monday, don't wait for next month, don't wait for the perfect moment, because that moment may never come. Start today. Start with one small action, one healthy habit, one extra page, one workout, one promise to yourself that you refuse to break. Small actions repeated every day create extraordinary lives. Now, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell us the one habit you are going to commit to starting today. Your commitment might inspire someone else to begin their own journey. If this video motivated you and gave you a new perspective, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our future videos on discipline, self-growth, and success. Share this video with a friend or family member who needs encouragement to keep moving forward. Together, we can build a community of people who refuse to settle for average and choose growth every single day. Until the next video, stay disciplined, stay focused, keep building yourself in silence, and let your success make the loudest noise.